We're gonna add interface into our waistband. This is a fusible interface. Give it that stiffener, plus we're gonna put a backing in it whenever you're making a custom pair of trousers. You don't want it too stiff, but you do want to make sure that you've given just enough for the waistband to be supported. And plus we're gonna put some elastic in it as well, so it's gonna give it another support also. Need to cut at least 3 pieces. Like I said, it's fusible, so you'll be able to just iron it in. But then we'll also use another lightweight cotton to give it a little more stability. Alright, this is going to be our stiffener. It's just a white muslin. I know y'all may be like, well, why are you using white on black? It's going to be in the interior, but the number one thing is it actually gives the support that's needed. That's what I'm really looking for. If I had black on hand, I would use it. But since I don't, I'm not going to stop my progression. That's one thing as a tailor, as a sewer, you will need to learn. I have a saying, it's called progression over perfection. Get it done, you need to learn to get it right. So therefore, take these classes. And if you notice, I'm cutting them with a trimmer. I could cut them with 10-inch shears. And the next one I probably will. It'll make the job just a little quicker. Got my old trusties right here. I've had these for a minute. You can see their age. But they get it done. See, get it done a little quicker. I always use the right tools. Sometimes, you get a little lazy. You'll be like, I'm gonna use this because I have it on hand. All right, now I'm going to use my interface, fuse it to it. Make sure you use the proper side. This is the side that kind of feels rough, a little bit like sandpaper. This is the side that has your fusing, I should say. And just apply your heat. Just make sure your iron has the proper heat and steam. And your number one thing is let it cool. Sometimes if you have a grill on your iron, we have an industrial iron here. So you see it has an actual grill on the bottom. You can actually touch it and it won't burn you. I didn't say leave your hand there. You can touch it and it won't burn you. And you can actually order a grill for some home irons. Part of being a tailor is having the proper tools. You see me once again, I use my press mitt to make sure that it's cooled on there. And if you look, you can see the part that has the fuse. I gotta press that down a little bit. You can see that's fused in. It's a little more, has a little, you see it's kind of bendy. Now if you look at the part that doesn't, you see it just flaps down. It just falls down. So you want to make sure you have proper, especially for a waistband, because the waistband, it's right there at the part that bends on your body. So you want to make sure, all right, you got that properly. That's one reason why we're gonna put an actual stiffener behind this to give us a little more stiff, but it won't be uncomfortable. It won't be uncomfortable to the client. All right, got that done. And the next thing I'm gonna actually do, take it to the sewing machine, stitch it down. Okay, after testing it, I hadn't put my cotton backing on it yet, but I was like, I want the waistband just a little stiffer. So what I actually doing, using a non-fusible interface. I'm gonna actually attach this to it, and it's gonna give me just the stability that I want. To make sure, the key thing that you want to make sure is the waistband does not roll. That's my #1 priority. I don't want the waistband to roll. I know some gentlemen probably have waistbands that you see that kind of bend over time, after aging. Just not gonna do that. So cut that. I'm gonna actually cut 2 of these. See, that's another thing. Sometimes while you're actually making it, you're testing it just to say, okay, is it doing what I want it to do? A tailor doesn't just do because the materials dictate. That's not the profession. We tell the material what needs to be done. All right. Okay, so now you see I'm back on the machine, taking those 3 pieces, putting them together. And we're just gonna put a basting stitch in, just something large enough to make sure it stays in flat, structured. Let me give you all a better view. Can you see me? All right. I'm gonna tell you something. This is not something that you're gonna learn overnight. Tailoring takes years. I've been doing it well over 20 years. I know I don't look like it, but real talk, I got into this very young. Just like in clothing, like in the dress, and again, learning the actual construction. It's just like anything. It's engineering, really. You know what I'm saying? You put your drafts together. That's why you hear me sometimes I say pattern drafting. You put your drafts together, then you have to know your construction means. You know how things are gonna function. Same thing. In fact, I even am now doing that same thing in a factory layout. So that is correct. Those of you who have seen me shopping for factories, that was not your eyes fooling you. But it's similar, you know, it's just making sure your construction techniques are together, trying to make sure you all get a shot of me doing this. And this is the waistband. Now I say that because a lot of times people be like, oh, I want to make a pair of pants, or I want to make this, or I want to make that. This just goes into the waistband. This is not the rest of the construction for the trouser. This is not pocketing, this is not the zipper, this is not so many intricate parts. That's why I say this is a craft that you have to study. This is not something, I know some people say, oh, I want to come out with a clothing line. You need to study it. It's not something that's just fly by night. You got to be able to put it all together. Okay, so interfacing in, right side of the material, we're gonna trim some things down. I'll take it back to the board and show you what I'm gonna do with that. Okay, up from the machine, like I showed you, got it excess, getting ready to do some cutting, just trimming off really. Trim this excess material, and this is just my interfacing. I'm gonna trim this off so you all can get a clear look of what it takes to make a waistband. And after I trim it, I'm just going to, once again, I told you all, make sure, go to that iron, you need to press it. So I'm gonna trim this off, and then I'm gonna get ready to press this. Alright, we got all the excess off. Now we're ready. Pressing it. Now that I have my waistband ready, and if you look, now let's look at the structure of it. You see, it's stiffer, it's a little more difficult to bend, has bounce back, resilience, has memory. So that's what we're gonna do. That's our waistband. Now, this is going to be our belt loops. So I'm getting ready to fold them. I did add only the fusible interfacing, and the reason I did that is because I'm going to make sure with this that let me make sure it's where I need it. I'm gonna make sure with this it has the stability, but I'm gonna top stitch them. So I'm actually I'm folding them at, let me bring that a little closer to you. I'm folding them at probably a 1/2 of an inch, and that's gonna be in a 1/3 because I actually have an edge. Top stitch to look nice. Hopefully you can see that a little. Make sure you're using your press mitt.